Hi guys, today I'll show you how to make rice in the Instant Pot Duo Nova. I'm using long grain white rice, basmati rice. This is 900 grams or 32 ounces. This is a standard 1 cup US measure, a dry cup measure, and I used 5 of these. Some of the Instant Pots come with a little plastic rice measure cup. Those are 5.3 ounces or 150 grams each, which is a 3/4 cup dry measure. So if you're using your 3/4 cup dry measure out 6 of those. Use the same cup that you're using for rice to measure water. You don't need to use a separate liquid measure cup to measure out your water. Instant Pot recommends a 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water. So if you're cooking 1 cup of rice, it's 1 cup of water, using the same measuring cup. And make sure you rinse the rice. I always rinse the rice a couple of times until the water runs clear. And the 1-to-1 ratio is for rinsed rice, because there will be a little bit of moisture in the rice after you rinse it. I always rinse the rice because it just gets rid of any impurities. I think it's just cleaner. And that's the way that I've always cooked rice. I've got the pot and the base. Pour in the water you already measured out. When I make 2 cups of rice, I usually put in a couple of tablespoons of extra water because I do like my rice a little bit moist. Since I'm using more than double what I usually make, I'm going to add an extra 1/4 cup of water. I'll add the drained rice. If you want to add any salt, that's up to you. Just even it out. You can see the half mark is all the way up here. So you have a lot of room and you can cook a lot more rice. Lock the lid. To make rice, you can use the pressure cook button or the rice button. Use the pressure cook to customize different times for different types of rice. With the rice setting, the pressure is low. The less setting is 8 minutes. Normal setting is 12 minutes. And more setting is 15 minutes. I'm going to use the normal at 12 minutes. You can see auto is displayed. Now we just have to wait. The Rice Smart program was designed for parboiled or long grain white rice. And it automatically adjusts the time based on the amount of rice you add to the pot. If you're using brown rice or wild rice, use the pressure cook program and set the time. For brown rice, it'll be 22 to 28 minutes. And for wild rice, it'll be 25 to 30 minutes. Instant Pot says jasmine rice should take 3 to 5 minutes. So use the pressure cook program and just manually set the time for 3 to 5 minutes. Now, I have cooked the basmati rice in the Instant Pot Mini in an earlier video, and I used the regular rice function, which is a default of 10 minutes, but while it was cooking, it reset itself to 13 minutes, and the rice came out perfect. So that's why I'm just using this auto function of rice and the normal 12 minutes. So we'll see how it comes out, because I've never made this much rice in the Instant Pot. Usually I'll make 2 cups max, and this is 6 cups. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how much rice can go into an 8-quart pot. I think it would be much easier if Instant Pot designed a little card or a small recipe book for cooking the most popular ingredients like rice. So you know exactly how much rice you can cook in each size, and also the amount of time it takes. It can be confusing sometimes with the rice function and the pressure cook function with the different types of rice. It's been 13 minutes and now the display shows 14 minutes. Remember when we used the rice function to set it automatically, it said 12 minutes at normal. So with the rice function, the Instant Pot does adjust the time depending on how much is in the pot. If you're using the pressure cook button, generally you don't have to change the time no matter how many cups of rice you're cooking. That's the general rule. So whether you're cooking 2 cups of rice or 6 cups of rice, it should be the same amount of time if you're using the pressure cook button. Hit cancel. With rice, you want to do natural release, so we'll just wait for the float valve to drop down. The float valve just dropped down. That took 23 minutes. You can open the lid. Stir the rice to make sure any liquid is distributed evenly. It looks like it's perfectly cooked. Nothing is stuck to the bottom. The rice on the bottom is cooked nicely, but the rice on top is not well cooked. It's a little dry and al dente. Rice shouldn't be al dente, it's not pasta. It needs to be fully cooked. Not mushy, but cooked. Otherwise you feel like you're biting into dry rice. I think if you're going to be using the rice function, add more water. I had added 6 1/4 cups of water. It's best to add 6 1/2 or even 6 3/4. I've cooked smaller amounts of rice using the rice function in the Instant Pot Mini, and the rice was cooked perfectly. Although Instant Pot recommends a 1-to-1 ratio of rice and water, you definitely have to adjust the water when cooking larger amounts of rice. Also, I used the normal setting. I think it's best to use the more setting with a large amount of rice. From start to finish, to cook the 6 cups of rice, it took 50 minutes. 50. 13 minutes to come up to pressure, 14 minutes to cook, and 23 minutes to release pressure. If you watch my Instant Pot Mini review, when I cooked only 2 cups of rice, it took only 8 minutes to release pressure. This pot is 8 quarts, it's really big. We cooked 6 cups of rice, so naturally it's going to take much longer to release pressure. With making 6 cups, you see the pot is just half full. I think you could probably make 9 cups or even 10. Just make sure that you don't fill above the half mark line. If you want to see other videos I've done with this Instant Pot Duo Nova, I'll put links right below this video. I do hope these tips help you when you're making a large batch of rice. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more reviews. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.